Welcome to the first episode of USA Slalom Skateboarding Meet the Team podcast series. In the series, we are going to be taking a look at our amazing team riders for Team USA going to World Skate Games in 2024 in Rome, giving you a little bit of behind the scenes insight into who they are, how they got here, what they're looking forward to Rome, how they're preparing, and some other fun tidbits will be thrown in there as well. So my name is Joe McLaren. I'm the president of USA Slalom Skateboarding. I will be one of your co-hosts for Meet the Team, along with Josh Bird.
Hi, I'm Josh Bird. I'll be co-hosting with Joe. I'm the secretary of USA Slalom Skateboarding. And today, in this first episode, we actually are co-hosting with Maria Carrasco.
Hi, I'm Maria Carrasco, Vice President of USA Slalom Skateboarding. I'm stoked to join the crew here today on Meet the Team. And today's guest will be Joe McLaren, 8-time world champion and #1 pick on Team USA for 2024.
Thank you, Maria, for stepping in and co-hosting with us today, since I was not able to co-host for myself. So excited to have you here, excited to chat with you guys, and hope you guys enjoy the episode and the episodes to come.
So hey everybody, I'm excited to be here today with our episode of USA Slalom Skateboarding Meet Team USA. Our first guest here today is Joe McLaren, 8-time world champion, and some people say the greatest of all time, and I would second that. So awesome, Joe. Glad to see you. Stoked that you could make it here to be with Josh and I today.
Yeah.
How you feeling?
Feeling good. Yeah, feeling good. Glad to be here. Honored to be on here and honored to make the team. So excited to chat with you guys.
Yeah, I'm super excited to have you, Joe, on Team USA. But this year isn't your first year on Team USA. You were on it in the 2022 season, and you actually helped out a lot with the Argentina World Skate Games. Can you kind of let me know your experience with all of that?
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, I was super honored to make the team in 2022 and be a part of the first Team USA. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to go due to some career obligations I had. I had to stay home, but I serve on the board of directors for the International Slalom Skateboarding Association, as well as the World Skate Slalom Working Group. So we were instrumental behind the scenes on kind of the organization and all of the negotiations and everything, getting slalom into the World Skate Games in Argentina. So it was still really special for me, just being able to see the progression that slalom has made, see slalom on such a big stage, and seeing the production that they had there. The live stream was amazing. The quality of racing was really good. The hills were amazing. Seeing everybody racing on the racetrack out there, the car racetrack that they had for the Titan Hybrid, was super cool, and seeing the big Jumbotron and everything that they had. So it was really special. And honestly, like when the live stream first came on, I got like a little emotional, like, wow, this is our baby that has come to life, and just seeing where slalom got to. So I was watching the live stream here. I was helping out Maria and the rest of the crew that was out there working for the ISSA, kind of behind the scenes, helping them out with some stuff, just having better Wi-Fi and having all of my computer set up and everything. There was a lot of stuff that I was able to do here to make their lives easier out there. And so still felt like I was there a little bit in a weird way. Unfortunately, yeah, upset that I wasn't there physically, but it was a really cool thing.
Yeah, for sure, Joe. We really missed you there because, as you alluded to, I was there. Even Richie Carrasco had the same problem. He couldn't actually compete, though was on the team, and so we went together, and he ended up working on the crew as well. And it was awesome to have you, Joe, as our boots on the ground at home, kind of like fielding questions and making sure everybody knew when the webcast was going to be on and what was happening with the racing and everything. So your input was still quite invaluable, and that was great. And that kind of leads me to another aspect of, not only are you on the team as a competitor, but you've been completely crucial in the buildup to get here, as you alluded to, working with the board of directors for ISSA for all those years, and we all fought hard to start getting us on the road to the Olympics, getting into the World Skate Games. And when we made it for the first time in 2022, it was completely awesome and probably one of our most amazing achievements that we can actually claim, and it's very solid. So yeah, and you're so involved with really like what I want to call the politics of skateboarding, even though I hate that word. It is kind of true what's happening. We're going through a big evolution in our slalom world, and all these things that we're doing with World Skate Games and World Skate and all the other things around it are so crucial to that. So just want to make sure that everybody knows how much work is coming from you, in a double-edged way. You're so crucial behind the scenes and making things happen, and yet you're still trying to keep your racing up. So it's amazing, and you're doing a great job. So congratulations. And what are you excited about, with going into, actually being able to compete this year in 2024? I mean, in Rome at the second World Skate Games.
Yeah, I mean, I'm super excited to see and experience that sort of stage, and it's a whole new, we've had some big races and stuff in the past, but being a part of this huge sort of like Olympic type event, and just being able to be there and actually experience the production and everything. And so I think that's going to be really exciting. I'm excited to go to Rome. Never been to Rome or Italy. So, just from a bit of like a tourist aspect, I'm excited from that point of view. And then, being involved behind the scenes with USA Slalom Skateboarding, it's really exciting too, just to see the amount of talent and the team that we have going there for World Skate Games. That's really special to me too, and I care so much about slalom. Like you said, I work really hard behind the scenes, but it's because I love it and I care about slalom, and I care about all of the people involved in it. So being able to see, it's an honor that I'm able to go, but it's also an honor to help support the team and watch a lot of my really close friends make Team USA too and go compete all together. So there's definitely a lot that I'm looking forward to. I'm definitely looking forward to the skating aspect as well from my personal side, and being able to get back to competing at that high of a level. So really looking forward to it.
Yeah, I'm excited to see you race there and everything you're doing leading up to the World Skate Games in Rome. What are some of the things that you're doing to prepare for your racing in Rome?
Yeah, that's a great question, and right now it's a little bit different. So as I'm sure a lot of people know, I got injured at World Championships in 2023 and actually had to pull out the last day from racing and due to a lower back injury. So currently I am waiting to get lower back disc replacement surgery in January of 2024. So right now, I'm not really doing a whole lot because I'm not able to do a whole lot. And then getting that surgery, but the good news is that I'll be ready to compete in Rome, and we'll have a few months beforehand that I'm able to be skating at a high level. So, and with this surgery, it's really going to help me with, one, just getting me out of the pain that I'm in, as well as helping me with increasing my mobility, because back issues are something I've dealt with for a long time. I had a lower back surgery about 3 years ago now. And so, it's been a struggle, but I think that this surgery should be really successful in really kind of helping me with a lot of those things. So right now it's a little bit of a waiting game, but after the surgery, I'm going to be, all in on PT, working out, getting myself back in shape and stronger again, and then skating. So yeah, looking forward to kind of the road to getting better and then getting ready for Rome.
Yeah. You make it sound so easy, Joe.
Unfortunately, I've been through this a few times.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, but that's good. And the rest that you're taking right now is going to help you in the long run.
For sure.
So I'm glad you're doing that. And then after the surgery, you'll pick up and be able to incrementally improve over time up to the big championship in Rome. So I'm glad that that's happening.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, for sure. It's going to be great. Can't wait to see you back out there, Joe. It was great to see you at Worlds 2023 in Salem. And yeah, again, you were a key player in putting that event on as well, and even working in between runs. So that was amazing. And thanks for all your hard work there, Joe.
Yeah.
It's amazing. And you mentioned also, or we should definitely not leave out the fact that you've been racing for how many years, Joe? When did you start? And you've been in it all this time. So most people may not know that you were just a little grom when we first met. So Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah. So I first started racing in 2002. And then went to my first actual race in 2003, and that was the Breckenridge race in 2003 was my first race. So yeah, been at it for a little bit over 20 years now. And yeah, it's been great. Grew up kind of going through the junior ranks, racing with Josh all the time. So it's really cool to kind of see Josh back, especially with all the history that we had in the junior division. It's always pretty special when I get to race with Josh. It always has a special place in my heart. And so, yeah, I just kind of grew up doing that, and then started racing in the pro division in 2007. And then, yeah, just kind of been at it ever since. So been at it since the early days, and it's cool to see that progression going back to where it was back then. And in a lot of ways, some of the things have remained the same, like you and Richie Maria and having Josh back and stuff like that, and just how awesome the community is and everything. But it's definitely changed quite a bit. I mean, the equipment is completely different. The courses are completely different. The level of racing and the intensity of the racing is just at a whole new level. And so it's really cool to see that progression kind of, since almost the very beginning of the modern age of slalom.
Yeah, for sure. You were there from the beginning, and you too, Josh.
Yeah, I
So
definitely
cool.
remember those days where we used to race together, and it wasn't too long before Joe just like started taking over and took it and ran and became the world champion that we all know today. So Yeah, I'm excited to be back there with you, Joe. So likewise,
Yeah.
talking about the junior racers in the sport and everything, do you have any goals or priorities for the future of the sport of slalom skateboarding?
Yeah, for sure. I think there's there's definitely a lot of goals and priorities that we have towards growing the sport, obviously. But just to touch on like a couple of them, definitely I think one of the big things, and coming from that unique perspective of kind of growing up in slalom skateboarding, I started started skating and like really competing and being a part of the scene when I was 10 years old, and I'm 30 now. And so I really did kind of grow up in slalom skateboarding, and having that perspective of just seeing kind of the where the juniors were at that time. And I think that in some ways we definitely had a very strong contingent of juniors back then, with myself, you, Josh, Dylan, Adam Schwippert, tons of people. There's a bunch of people that I'm forgetting, I know, but just seeing how it was back then, and wanting to definitely revamp a little bit of that. I think we went through a little bit of a lull with that in like the mid 2000s to like the early 2010s, and it's definitely, I think, beginning to increase, where we're seeing more juniors come into the sport. We're seeing the elite level and the top pros and everything just keep getting younger and younger. And I really am looking forward to finding new ways to increase our coaching efforts, increase our clinics, and just getting more exposure in general towards slalom skateboarding, to get more juniors for sure, and get kind of the up and coming sort of next generation going, but also just grow the sport in general. So that's definitely something that is a huge goal. I had some conversations at World Championships that really kind of warms my heart of some of these new up and coming pros, just in their like mid to early 20s, had a lot to say about just kind of how I inspired that generation, and kind of showed them what was possible, and showed them that it could be done at a young age. And so that was really special to me, and it's cool to see. So, and yeah, it's definitely holds a special place to me, as I'm sure it does to you, Josh, just with how we kind of grew up in it, and with our families and siblings and stuff kind of going through it with us. It holds a special place in my heart. To sum it up, just looking to get more exposure towards slalom skateboarding, keep growing slalom skateboarding, and make it a little bit more of like a household sport.
I totally agree, and I appreciate that, because, like you said, that's also close to my heart. You and I started that way, and I know that once people start in the sport, it's something that everyone kind of continues to do for a very long time. And so even if it's not at the competitive level, they still stick with it. It's skills and abilities that stick with you for the rest of your life. And so
for sure,
I would love for that to happen. Your goal is also my goal in that. So thank you very much.
Yeah.
Well, we couldn't ask for a better role model than Joe. I mean,
yeah, thank you. And yeah, I was just gonna say, like, to that point, Josh, of just staying in it. I always have thought it's cool, just especially with slalom, but just in skateboarding in general, how people really do kind of stay in it. And it's like, most people grow up and they love playing football or baseball or whatever it is, but then, once they don't make it through past high school or college sports or something like that, they don't really ever touch a football again, or, if they do, it's just playing toss with their kids. And so seeing like how people do really stick in it, even if they aren't going up to that highest level, but they still have so much passion and are spending their money and time to travel and all of that. It's just, I think it's a cool aspect of skateboarding, and especially with slalom.
Yeah, and that brings up an interesting point too, because a lot of sports like that, you really can't be competing. Maybe even 30 would be considered, you're done, in pro sports. Maybe not quite that young, but in some for sure. And, I get people telling me all the time, oh yeah, I used to skateboard when I was younger. But, they're still like in their 30s. And I'm thinking, well, you need to get into slalom because, it's something that you could still do if you get good at it and you want to keep doing it. There's definitely a future. Not that that is the future, but it's really cool to know that it isn't such a short window. If you love it, you can keep doing it. And
for sure.
And that's also another thing I've always noticed that's really cool about slalom in our community that I've seen over this 25 years that I've been involved, on the outside looking in, or on the behind the camera looking in, maybe is a better way to put it, is the family dynamic, and you came with your family, Joe, you and your younger brother, Kyle, and even dad competed. Mom and grandma were always there cheering you guys on. And Josh, same gig. I know, it was a family affair with you, and there's been other families too that, some of them have stayed with it and some of them haven't, but it's a super cool thing. So, I love that. And it's definitely something that makes it special. What we have is special, I think, here. And so, who knows? Maybe more family. This is like a family thing. Get your family out there.
Yes.
But, yeah, pretty cool.
I kind of want to refocus to Rome, and going into Rome, I know there's a lot of season before getting to Rome. And some points and stuff might start floating around. Who do you think your grudge match or best competition would be that you want to race against in Rome?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think there's definitely a lot. I would say, definitely the first one that probably comes to my mind and most people's mind is me and Giannis. Giannis is somebody that, we've kind of gone back and forth for a long time and have sort of been the top two for such a long time. And now we kind of have this new generation coming up and, really giving us a run for our money and making us work for it. I have so much respect for Giannis and the level of skating that he's been able to, maintain through all these years. So, me and Giannis kind of have that special relationship with that. But, I also, racing against, some of the other kind of top pros is always fun. I always have just a blast with Gustav. I love racing with Gustav. He's a great competitor and we have a great time, and it's very lighthearted and fun. And same with like Tom Drablotz. Love racing with him. And now, seeing Orion kind of coming up through the ranks. I love racing with Orion, even though these days it doesn't turn out in my favor quite as often as it used to with him. But I love seeing that and love racing with him. And then, the other one that I would love to race against that I think would be really special is, being able to get up on the ramps with you, Josh, in Rome. And because, like I said, that's always special in the times that we've been able to race. since you've been back have been really cool. And so, yeah, there's a lot, but yeah.
Yeah, you mentioned the exact ones I was thinking of.
And and hopefully I get a race against Richie and beat him.
That's what he wants to do.
Yeah, right. That's his grudge match.
Right. He wants to race against Joe Mack and beat him. It's harder to do these days.
Joe, you mentioned the exact ones that I was thinking. Of course, Giannis, you guys are the two fastest, two most powerful skaters, without a doubt. But there are some pros in Europe that are kind of creeping up and kind of right on the coattails of you guys. As well as here in the States, Orion is the one I was thinking of as well.
Mm-hmm.
Stateside, that is getting faster and faster and not slowing down. So he's getting up there. And so it'd be great to just see a shootout between, all the people that you just mentioned. Hopefully that happens at World Skate Games in Rome.
Yeah. It's great to see the talent pool that we have now in the pro division in the USA, because it's definitely come up to a great level. I mean, Joe used to kind of be, up there, and there was about a second difference between most of the competition, but that's not the case now, and it's really great to see. And Joe, you've given them something to shoot for, and you've also helped them along the way too, giving them coaching tips and that kind of thing. And from what I understand, maybe it's time that doesn't go on anymore, because it's like, okay, I showed you good now. Now you're on your own.
Yeah. It's like, all right, if you guys all keep getting better and better, the coaching's gonna maybe have to tone down a little bit here, because you guys are just getting faster, and you're also young and have more energy and better, haven't been through the injuries and stuff. And I'm like, all right, I need to keep a little bit of my edge here.
There you go.
Yeah, that's the competitive nature. Yep,
that's great. So Joe, you've definitely had a long and amazing career in slalom, starting as we were talking about earlier, when you were just a kid in 2002, and you were on top for many years, and going into 2019, which was the last World Championship we had right before COVID took over and we had a 2-year shutdown. It was pretty evident that you were having some real struggles with your health, and your body wasn't quite cooperating. Your back injuries were really coming to the surface, and it was taking a toll on your racing. And it wasn't too long after that, in 2020, that you announced that you were having a temporary retirement, and you weren't sure what the future was going to hold for you. I think a lot of us were really stoked when you decided to come back and you were able to come back. How has your outlook on the whole scene changed since then, and what's going on with you now? What's your goal going forward?
Yeah. So yeah, definitely, leading up to Worlds in 2019, and then leading up to the decision to, kind of step away from the competitive aspect of skateboarding. I was really struggling with my back, and was in just, I was just in excruciating pain every day of my life for years, and it just got worse. And towards the end of, or towards like when I got the surgery and the decision to, kind of step away, I started having really bad bilateral sciatica. So I had really severe sciatica in both of my legs. When they went in to do my back surgery, I went up there to my surgeons, and basically they kind of put me almost into emergency surgery and said, you need surgery within the next week, or you could have real kind of permanent damage to the function of your legs and stuff. And so it got it got really scary at that point, and they went in, and the disc herniation that I had, they said that really severe disc herniation where somebody is essentially bedridden is 1 centimeter by 1 centimeter, and my disc herniation was 3 centimeters by 2 centimeters. And even through that, I was still pushing it and trying to compete in everything, and it just it got to a point where I felt like, and whether this was fully internal or some of this might just be in my mind, but I just felt like I had a lot of pressure to perform, and like I said, I mean, a lot of that I think was mostly just myself and in my own mind, but I started to kind of feel pressure outside of, like, I would get comments of like, oh, I would still win like the overall, but I would get like third in tight, and people would be like, oh, what's up? Like, what's wrong with you? And I'm like, nothing. I'm competing against the best people in the world. Are you kidding me? I'm thrilled to be doing this good. And so it got to a point where I was skating when I really shouldn't have been because of my injuries, and I should have been, resting or taking time to really recover, but I had that pressure, and I think, that's been part of my struggle with, my back and with all the ankle surgeries and everything, all of the injuries I've had. I think a lot of it is due to that. So it just, I sort of lost my love a little bit for it. I mean, obviously I always will love skateboarding, but I lost a little bit of that, and and I also got to the point where I'm like, skateboarding is a huge part of my life, obviously, but it's not my whole entire life. And the health issues and stuff that I was going through was like, all right, like you need to prioritize yourself too. And so that's when I sort of decided to step away, and did that for a year or two, and really kind of fell back in love with skateboarding, and fell back in love with slalom, and really missed the community and everything. And so stepped back in, but I think the big thing is just my mindset has really changed of like, I don't have to prove anything to anyone. I've proven myself. And I'm proud to say that. And so, going into it now, yeah, I want to win. Like, I would obviously be lying if I said that I didn't want to win, but that's not everything to me anymore. And I just want to skate at the highest level that I can. And I know that, if I am healthy, I know that I still can give these guys a run for their money. And I think I really proved that to myself, especially at World Championships. The 2 days that I was able to race, I got a third and a fifth, which, you might be hearing this and think, oh, well, that's not really up to his standards. But, I was extremely preoccupied with the putting on of the event. I had a lot going on in my kind of day job at the time, was running around like crazy at the event and everything. So I only skated like maybe an hour or so total leading up to World Championships. And so still with all of that distraction and everything going on, that was way better than I thought that I was going to be able to do. And so, that kind of showed me like, all right, like you can still compete with these guys. And so, yeah, I'm going into it, definitely just with a little bit of a different mindset, and more of a mindset too of being a little bit less selfish, I guess, because, being at that high level, and be able to accomplish what I did, you do have to be a little bit selfish. And that's, one of the, I guess, unfortunate things about it, but I want to change it. But, going back now, I'm much more looking to just have a good time, really continue to inspire people as much as I can in slalom, and really give back to the sport that's given me so much. And so, we kind of joked around about, not stopping to give tips and stuff like that to people like Orion and stuff. But, in all seriousness, I love seeing that, and I love helping, these young up and coming athletes. And so that's a lot of it, is, just having a good time, loving it, and just doing what I can to give back.
Yeah, I love that. I admire you for your strength through all of that. It's super detrimental for a world-class athlete to experience injury, and prolonged injury too. Taking breaks is part of being an athlete, especially when your body is not being cooperative. And it's the smart thing to do, because that's going to help you get back to where you can, hopefully one day, get at that same level in the future. So the best thing you could have done is what you did.
Joe, I know that you have, you definitely take some inspiration from other world-class athletes, especially going through what you've gone through. And I know you've taken some cues from some of those. Did you want to share any of that information with any of us?
Yeah. So, I definitely looked up to, a lot of people, and obviously in the skateboarding, world, there's a ton of people that I can mention. I think one big inspiration, and one thing that, has really kind of driven me to get back into it and get motivated again, and really get really inspired with this, I guess, sort of comeback, if you want to call it, is Tiger Woods. I think most people know I'm a huge golf fanatic, and you could say maybe even obsessed. And so, watching Tiger and what he was able to accomplish, and going through a lot of the same things as I did, and kind of fighting through that pain. I mean, you would see video of him where he would hit a tee shot and physically fall to the ground because of his back condition, which was a lot of what I was going through, and just he was still able to compete at such a high level and for such a prolonged time. And now you see kind of what he's going through now with his recent injuries, and the life-threatening car accident that he was in and coming back. It's really inspiring, and just watching those sort of people, and just seeing I just see so many similarities in them. And I won't get too much into it because some of it is a little bit personal to me, but just some of the coincidences that have happened in mine and Tiger's life, and some of the same things that we've kind of gone through and stuff, is just, it's almost a little bit creepy. But just seeing how those sort of people kind of, how their mindset is really cool. And like I said, I see a lot of similarities in the way that Tiger's mindset and work ethic and stuff is, and same with Michael Jordan and all these other people that are undoubtedly the greatest of all time in their sports. And I think that people like them and people like me are just wired a little different. And so, I think Tiger's definitely been a huge influence on me.
Yeah, that's really cool. Really cool to hear, Joe. And glad that it's had such a positive effect on you too. And you can someone will learn from you in that same way.
Right.
So, awesome.
just in conclusion here, this is our last question that we wanted to ask you, and it's more of a broad statement about the sport. How do you feel about the state of slalom skateboarding currently within USA and within the world where everyone's at?
Yeah, I think that's a great question. I think that I think slalom skateboarding is in a really good spot, and in a spot where we're really starting to grow and starting to break that barrier of really becoming a lot more recognized on a global and national scale. And I think, the inclusion of slalom skateboarding in World Skate Games is obviously huge. The merger between the ISSA and World Skate, which me and Maria were, involved in kind of those deals and everything and working that out, that was huge. I think, it's definitely growing. You see it in the participation levels for sure. I mean, looking at Worlds in 2023 in Salem, that was the most participation that we've had at Worlds for a few years, and even the ones that have been bigger in recent times were not a whole lot bigger, and it was definitely the most competitors that we've had at World Championships in the U.S. Since back to like 04, 05, Morro Bay maybe was bigger. I don't know the actual numbers, but it was definitely the biggest one. So, you see it in the participation levels. You see it in the level of skating. The level of skating at World Championships was insane. There's just so many good people. And so, yeah, I think we're in a place where we're definitely growing. We have a lot of room to grow. There's a lot of things that we still need to focus on, but I think those things are on their way. And we sort of touched on a little bit just the sort of next generation that is coming up, and you see how much younger these top pros are getting. I mean, you look at myself and Orion, Ocean, Tom Drablotz, Gustav, Arturs, the Hadstrand brothers, all of those guys are, mid-30s or younger, and a lot of them are mid to early 20s. And so I think it's really growing, and it's great to see. I think one of the most exciting things is seeing how much the women's division is growing. Carolina, that girl is amazing, and same with Andesia and the Galita sisters, and and then here in the U.S., it's been really exciting seeing how much bigger the field has gotten for the U.S. I mean, for a long time it was sort of Lynn and Judy, and then one or two other people might have been sprinkled in there every once in a while, but now there's Lynn and Judy are still at it. Issa's coming up, Maggie, Larry and Rupp, Jen Copa is killing it right now. So yeah, I think we're definitely, it's definitely in a really good spot, and I think U.S. especially. I mean, and you look at the amount of people that we have going to World Skate Games. I think we're going to have a team of around 24 people. I mean, that's pretty incredible that we have that many high-level racers in the U.S. So yeah, I think it's really growing, and I see that a lot in the U.S. But I don't want that to be overshadowed by thinking that our work is done, because it's far from done. We still have a lot more things to do, but I think that we're on the right track, and we have evidence showing that, and it's exciting. So yeah, looking forward to Rome and seeing kind of the competition there and seeing what's to come for slalom skateboarding in the U.S. for, you know, the next couple of seasons, 10 years, 15 years. It'll be exciting to look back and see where we were now and how much bigger it's gotten.
Yeah, pretty encouraging. Thanks, Joe, for sharing so much great insight with us today. It's an amazing story that you have, and it's all part of where we are in slalom today, which I'm super excited to see. Going forward into 2024, we have everything great to look forward to. Stoked to continue the journey, and we're really stoked to have you as our number one leader in the country. Thanks, Joe.
And thank you guys for watching or listening to this episode. Stay tuned for the next one. We're going to meet the rest of the Team USA. So see you guys in the next one.
Thanks, guys. Go Team USA. And don't forget, if you want to support Team USA, please go to USASlalomskateboarding.com, where you can make a donation. We are a 501c3 tax-exempt organization, and your support is extremely valuable to us, and we couldn't be here without you guys. So if you want to help our organization or help send the team to Rome, or if you just want to learn more about some of the exciting things that we have going on there in our team, again, please visit USASlalomskateboarding.com. Thank you.